Okay, I'm going to give you... Ooh.
Okay, let that load and then we'll go through the Zoom so that we can get the right video.
Okay. Oh my God, where are you going?
We're live.
I believe you are.
We are live.
We are live. It's Thursday. Woo!
Woo!
Very excited. So this is what we do on Thursdays. We go, yeah, enough. Right.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. Yep.
Now who do we have here?
Who do we have here? We have Luke.
Hello.
And we have Vivienne. And we have the fabulous Trish Brew, brought to us with the
Fevertree tonic.
wonders of technology from the fabulous people at Fevertree. So this is very exciting. So we talked about doing this. How long ago did we talk about doing this, Trish? About a year?
It must be years.
All right.
To be honest.
It's a great idea.
All great things take time.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Sure.
That's how you can tell it's a really good idea. And in the production booth, we have Ross and Rachel and Eva. Woo! So apologies for being a bit late, but we've had technology issues. No, we're fine. We're all sorted.
We're here.
Okay. So what we're going to do? What are we going to do today, Luke?
So, okay. Well, we decided we were going to do. We'll kind of go through the whole Fevertree range because there's quite a few different tonics we've got here. So we wanted to pick two different gins that were quite botanically different. So we've got the NB London Dry Gin, which is like a standard, well-made, very high-quality London Dry Gin.
And people who've been with us for a while will know, they will have tasted that.
And while we were talking to Trish, we were going through lots of different gins and we thought we want something Australian, we want something really botanical, something interesting. And we were going through and we were racking our brains.
And something I hadn't tasted.
Racking our brains, and Trish goes, that one, I want that one. So we've got the Loch Weaver Gin.
Which has got a green label, which is why Trish is wearing green. So it's awesome. You'll also notice that now we've got the tonics. Now, Trish, would you like to talk us through the tonics, please? There's the green one that matches what you're wearing. What's this one?
Absolutely. So yeah, in no particular order to go with the gin, but just the tonics themselves. The green one is a great place to start, very in vogue. That's the Elderflower tonic by Fevertree, which is, you know, we've just started spring. I mean, none of my Melbourne friends, and certainly my friends that we sell, you might not get to see too much of the start of spring, but this is perfect for spring, this tonic. Fresh elderflowers from the English countryside, absolutely divine. Then the next one we've got is the Aromatic tonic, which is a little bit spice up your life crazy, and that's going to pair really well with one of the gins today. The Aromatic tonic is based off bitters, and you know, it's got an array of interesting botanicals that you would find in bitters originally, but we've sourced them all ourselves, of course, being Fevertree, very finicky about our ingredients, but it's very spice laden, and so still perfect for those fleeting cold winter days. And the next one is the Indian tonic.
Yellow.
Which is kind of like, yeah, it matches you, so that's absolutely perfect. Now, the Indian tonic is, you know, Moorish bitter. It's a classic style. It goes really great with your classic London Dry gin. We've got a great pairing for you today, which Luke and I will talk you through, I'm sure. Yeah. And the Mediterranean tonic. Now, this one is probably the most, you know, diverse tonic. It's so interesting. Herbaceous botanicals from Provence in France, and it is really just delicate. Goes so good with every gin. So excited to delve into these more.
Awesome. That's great. That's fabulous.
A bunch of people saying hello. We've got Georgie and we've got Liz.
Hi, Georgie.
Hi, Liz.
We've got fantastic. Everyone's coming in.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Cool. Now, I think we have to watch what Liz is going to eat because she has been preparing food as usual. So, yeah. So we'll hear what it is that Liz is doing. The other thing that we've got is that Luke and I actually went a bit over the top because for those of you who might remember, we've had a bit of trouble with garnishes. We usually remember at about 4:30 on a Thursday that we need some garnishes. So we've all put reminders in our phone. So actually, we have absolutely more garnishes than anybody could possibly need. So you don't need to have all of those, but we'll talk you through what we might have with what. So I'm obviously the complete amateur here. So I'm going to hand over to Luke and Trish to talk about
gin and tonic
and how we decide what goes with what, because I think people really get that sort of panic now. There's so many gins and so many tonics and everybody goes, oh, what do I have with what? And I know certainly we've had some tastings where all of a sudden somebody has tried something with something and then you can see it on the feed, and even that they said, oh, it tastes like mouthwash or
a bit of soap.
Or a bit of soap, or that tastes like the smell of dishwashing liquid. You think, right, I've just spent $99 on a bottle of gin and it smells like dishwashing liquid because we put the wrong thing with it. So that's what we're here for. We're here to demystify all of that and make some decisions. So we're starting with the NB.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit about the NB gin, Luke?
Yeah, so NB Gin started back in 2013. They're a Scottish company out of New Berwick, and
In Scotland.
in Scotland. One of the North Berwick, sorry. One of the really interesting things about NB is they really jumped into gin right at the perfect time for sort of the New World
I'm
gin
just going to pop
boom.
these out to the production booth.
And in 2013, when they started in their kitchen with a pressure cooker and some old heating pipes. And within 2 years, they had World's Best Gin Award. So
That is actually the best thing I can think of using a pressure cooker for. I don't know about anybody else, but my grandmother used to take perfectly good food, put it into a pressure cooker, and then mush came out. No idea. Anyway, but gin, I think that's a great idea. I should have had her making gin.
oh well, there we go.
Awesome. All right, so
She might have turned the gin into grey mush too, you know.
she might have. Okay.
We're going to start off just having a bit of sniff of gin, get ourselves warmed up.
Mm.
Well, we've got a couple of people signing in from Elwood. We've got 2 hellos from Elwood, from Keegan and Jackie.
Oh, there you go.
Hello,
Keegan
hello.
All right.
And Di says hello as well.
Cool.
Oh,
So what are we getting here out of the NB?
lots of juniper.
Yeah, you can definitely smell that juniper forward.
There's that nice little bit of orris root and cassia bark. There's nice woody flavours. A little bit of like lemony sort of citrus.
Yeah, I get the lemon.
Is anybody else getting anything different?
What do you get, Trish?
No, I get those botanicals. What I also really get, which is important, is I get this beautiful sort of balance between the spices. So, you know, they almost become harmonious, and that's what I really love about lemon dry gins. Even though you have all these different botanicals, they kind of layer up to one sort of master aroma. And I really think NB have absolutely nailed it there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is the Queen's favourite gin.
Yeah.
And she's been drinking gin for a long time, so she should know. And I would she's probably been given more free samples of posh gin than anybody on the planet.
For sure.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So if she likes it, we like it. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Beautiful.
All right. So
I'm going to have a bit of a taste.
you can have a bit of a taste. How do we know what goes with this? How do we taste it first and then decide? Is that what we do?
Yum, yum, yum. I've got to say, on the palate, you get a little bit more of those woody sort of spicy flavours.
Yep.
I'm thinking this is obviously quite a dry gin. I wouldn't
But
mind
it's not really, it's not hyper dry. It doesn't do that sort of
sticky on your mouth. No.
dry your palate out kind of thing. So how do we decide what goes with that?
Well,
Well, as far as the mixer is concerned, which, you know, Luke and I have discussed, and we absolutely fell on the same thing straight away, because we obviously both drink quite a few gin and tonics.
In the interest of science, of course.
Yes, not everyone has that sort of trial and error kind of ability, but we certainly do. And so the Indian tonic speaks volumes here. Now, your classic London Dry style was always paired with an Indian tonic because that's all that was available in the market. And what really sets Fevertree apart and why this is so precious, this liquid, is that 2 English chaps wanted to have a really good gin and tonic, and what was available in the early 2000s when Fevertree came about was a lot of London Dry gin. You didn't have the sorts of, you know, funky, fancy, botanicalized, local craft gins that you are seeing a lot of today.
yeah.
So you really didn't have just those classic botanicals. So the Indian tonic will always be well suited to that. And we've got the world's best Cinchona bark in there, Mexican bitter orange, a little bit of coriander as well, which you'll find in a lot of gins, orange peel and coriander. So that should be absolutely harmonious.
All right, so we'll start with.
That's my main pair. Very bold. Very
Okay.
bitter.
You're starting there?
So we're going to start with the Indian, yes?
Or if you want to. I'm going to
with the
go,
Indian because it's yellow.
as someone who's drunk a lot of London Dry gin with Indian tonic, I'm going to stray from the norm. I'm going to,
And now something.
now for something
plot
completely
twist.
different.
Plot twist.
I'm going to go for the Elderflower tonic.
And why are you doing that?
Well, it's a really beautifully made dry gin. And I think if there's something that I want to pair with a dry gin, it's not always something that, not just picking something that goes well with it, and I know goes well with it, like the Indian, but sometimes when you want to be a little bit more experimental, sometimes it's about contrast. You know, if
Okay.
you put two of the same things together,
Okay.
it's just going to taste the same.
Right.
So a really dry gin and a little bit of a sort of sweeter floral tonic.
Okay.
And I think
I'm gonna give that one a go. So, which one did you go with, Trish?
Well, I was going to go with the Indian, but Luke just sold me a gin and tonic. Can you believe that? So I'm going to go with the Elderflower too. And I 100% agree with Luke. And it's so important to he's a bit of a master of the art, so he can do that. So you do need to compare or contrast to have a really good gin and tonic experience.
Yeah.
It's so much easier if you're getting into the gin and tonic game to compare, because you really can't go wrong. But seasoned professionals like Luke and myself, definitely, yeah, I agree. And I have had a sip, and Luke, you are not wrong. That is delightful.
well, I haven't yet.
Well, I've got it with the Indian, and I do like it with the Indian.
I've got to say, what's really interesting is because it's such a dry gin, the nose that comes out of this, while it's floral, it's really changing the flavour and the sort of smell of the elderflower. Like it's giving a nice sort of woody sort of note.
What's interesting though is that I think normally people would have, if people would traditionally have had London Dry with the Indian tonic, they would normally have put lemon with it, and it's not telling me it wants lemon. I think it wants orange. That's my thing.
Absolutely. I love that. And it's you're so right.
Sweetness, I think.
100%. And I think I love orange so much with the gin and tonic. And it goes with most gin and tonics too. As an alternative to lemon, it changes it completely though. So spot on.
Yeah, no, I think I like that. In fact, Luke's going completely poncy.
I'm going very posh today.
He's just smashed some violets.
I've got some fresh violets as well.
Home.
Yeah.
So,
fancy.
which one would you like, Eva?
I don't know. This is a tough one.
I'm just gonna do
Oh,
that.
you are going to give me. Okay.
Okay. The production booth are being told what to drink. Okay, I really like that with orange. Now,
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Violets and elderflower. That is amazing. Sorry, everyone at home who doesn't have fresh violets. I'd like to formally apologise for my own audacity.
I've got heaps in my garden, but
give that a sniff.
what's interesting about the orange? Oh yeah, wow. What's interesting about the orange is I think it just gives you a bit more sweetness than I think you get out of the lemon. I think that there would just be dry upon dry with acidity. That would be a bit much for me.
The orange gives it a good texture, I find, as well, because it's got that juiciness. It gives it a nice, round, oily sort of finish.
I almost want to
agree.
put strawberry with my elderflower.
You may have a strawberry with your
Eva's
elderflower.
putting strawberry in.
Yeah. Eva, the elderflower and strawberry is such an amazing combination. So 100%.
Right.
I love it.
Try this
I
now.
love that you've all chosen like different ways to drink your gin and tonic, and that's what it's all about. And I think you've all done great.
Yeah.
So, of the tonics, would you, to go with the London Dry, would you use the aromatic or the Mediterranean in any situations?
Absolutely. I find gins that are London Dry or Navy Strength gin tend to go with the aromatic really well. So anything that's really juniper dominant makes a lot of sense. There's a really fun story with the aromatic, which I will save until we start tasting it, just so you don't get bored of me too quickly. But also the Mediterranean is wonderful because it is more delicate. So maybe if you're not such a huge fan of tonic, I think that's a gateway tonic. It's a really good way to get you onto the category, as it's not as bitter. And it's quite herbaceous and floral and delightful.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a few people. So Georgie said she cheated and went straight for the aromatic. And I said, oh no, I've missed out on gin night. Can I get a gin subscription?
Absolutely. We will do subscriptions. That is fine.
And we've got another person from 3184. Really? Elwood's
going off.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone for the elderflower with a borage flower, which I know is dead fancy. It grows like a weed in our house. But borage, for those of you who don't know, grows in sort of a long prickly plant with enormous prickly leaves. And
Very hairy looking.
Very hairy looking thing. It gives you these absolutely beautiful
periwinkle blue flowers.
Periwinkle blue flowers like that. And they, apart from the fact they look gorgeous, they give you a slight cucumber sort of flavour.
Quite a strong cucumber flavour.
So I've put cucumber in as well. And I have to say, that is really delicious. Smell that.
Oh, yum.
Mm.
Right.
So sometimes it's just about playing around. So I think the cucumber would not have gone with the Indian.
No.
I think it needed a bit more,
something a bit greener.
Yeah.
Colette has said, like the Indian, but prefer the elderflower. Di has gone with cucumber, and she's got tiger prawns.
Well,
Don't know
I-
if she's got the tiger prawns in the gin, but
Oh, well, we haven't got tiger prawns. We've got a very, very substantial taste garnish platter, but no tiger prawns.
no.
I'm moving on. I'm going to do a Mediterranean, having just spoken about it.
Luke almost never has Mediterranean.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this, mostly because I find I usually have citrus at home when I'm garnishing, and I find I actually don't like the Mediterranean with citrus.
Why is that?
I think it's I think it's just me.
This is what and do you know what I will say to that, which I say often, is whether you like it or you don't, you're right, because you're you, baby, and no one is like you.
Heard it here first.
Oh,
So,
I tell you, that
Good on
cucumber.
you. I love that you know what you like.
That cucumber would make a really good long drink in summer.
Ooh, Jackie has gone blood orange with the Indian.
Oh, yum. My gosh, yes, please.
And
Let's
Liz has
make
gone
the most of that short season.
definitely. Liz has gone elderflower with a slice of mandarin, going well with my Bellini and pate.
Ooh, very posh.
Right.
I've just put
She's very
some
posh up there,
orange and
Bellflower.
sage in this one.
This started many years ago. We had a whole lot of
Yeah.
gin samplers, and we took it home with some people who I know are on the call, and we sat in the sun in the backyard, and we tried things, and we put rosemary in things and thyme in things. This was
Just wandered around
this
the
was
garden.
what 10 years ago when
Yeah.
we really were just starting to play with gin, and we discovered there was a whole lot of stuff. Nasturtium, by the way, don't try that. At home.
Wasn't
It's
quite 10
awful.
years.
Um,
Wasn't 10 years. I
Right.
remember it.
No, there you go. But anyway, it was a long time ago. And the trick is that there's a lot of different things that go with gin. Like sage, I think, is a really good garnish. I really like sage as a garnish for a lot of gin. I like the cucumber. That's good.
Sage with the Mediterranean is
Mm.
beautiful.
I'm going to need to have somewhere to tipple this. Otherwise, we're going to run out of glasses. Nope. This is going to wind up being, that's the thing that you drink last thing at night.
Woohoo!
Woo! Hardy, hardy.
Yeah.
So did you like the Mediterranean?
That's really good.
The one thing I haven't tried is I haven't tried the, I'm going to try the aromatic and see what happens then.
Okay.
Do you have thoughts on different places you'd be wanting to drink these?
I think Aldrin, what did Aldrin, what did Steve from Fosse's last night say? That
Any day.
any day with a Y in it is a day for having a drink of gin. Good
Yeah.
plan. And if the month has
An
an
R
R
in
in
it.
it, you can
Outside.
have to drink it outside. Which
Oh.
actually, today you could have drunk outside.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Did you want more of that, or you right good?
I'm thinking, so we're moving on
Are we?
to the aromatic tonic.
Yeah, I just want to try the aromatic tonic. So I find Trish, is this the way you should go? I find if I'm going to try different tonics, I'm better off staying with the one gin, and then I can sort of have a play.
That is absolutely, Viv. That is such a wonderful way to figure out. And this is the one thing that I think is so fun to do today with everyone, is to really understand how much the tonic makes a difference. And you're seeing that, right? It's
Yeah.
Completely.
You really shouldn't forget about the tonic, because that is so important.
It's such a cute colour.
I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? All natural colouring. If you leave it in the sun, it does go completely white.
I found that out the hard way.
Yeah. So if you
What, you think the bigger wine might have to be in the sun?
Just the tonic.
Just the tonic.
So what happens when you're really thirsty and you go to make a gin and tonic and you just don't get to the second bit.
Just the gin.
But things happen.
Not
For
quite right.
sure.
Okay, so I think definitely the thing is to smell the gin, see what you think needs to go with it,
Mhm.
and then sometimes you can have things that go with it. Sometimes you can have things that contrast with it,
Mm, yeah.
and then you use the garnish to sort of balance it out. Is that the way we play?
I think so.
I'm going to put
Absolutely. Wonderful order.
strawberry in your.
I had elderflower, but somebody else, I think they had with somebody said aromatic
Strawberry.
and raspberry.
Yeah, I'd go strawberry.
Well, I haven't got raspberries.
No, but close enough.
Now, for everybody at home, I've moved on to the Loch gin, the
Oh.
Loch Weaver gin.
I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite out of all those tonics to go with the NB, or a least favorite?
I think it depends. I think if I want something a little bit light, sort of at the start of the season or at the start of the day, I'd go with your
Start of the day.
elderflower or your Indian, because you just can't go wrong. And then from there, if you want something a little bit more gutsy, a little bit more complex, I think the Fevertree Mediterranean. You know, a little bit more of those warmer flavors, a little bit more of those spicier flavors.
And Vivienne, what do you think of the aromatic?
It's not really floating my boat, I have to say. And I don't know whether that's because I've put a strawberry in it and I shouldn't have. So I'm just going to rescue that.
Now,
So much fun.
Trish,
Yeah.
I've just put the Loch Weaver gin with some aromatic tonic. How do you feel about this?
Look at the size of the
I
nip.
feel so good about that. So this is where I think we could win you over, Viv, with the aromatic tonic. I mean, firstly, what I love about the Weaver gin is that it's so spice laden and
It's good.
And-
It's good. It's good. Aromatic with the mint. See, I got the garnish wrong. It was too. It was too sweet.
Too pink.
It was too pink. That's it. It was too pink. I had too much pink. So that was the NB with the aromatic. Not good with strawberry for me,
But good with
but
me.
good with mint. Now I know.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. That's fantastic. We reeled you back in. the Weaver though, because
Yeah.
it's such a heavy spice laden gin. It's punchy. It's 50% ABV. The Loch Weaver is one of my favorite gins of all time. Actually, I used to call a big cellar and get my gin there when I was a bartender, and I was lucky enough to go out and see the guys. And I've actually seen a trend before I get onto the tonic. I've seen a trend that NB gin and Weaver gin is made by a couple of each. They're a married couple each time. I love that we kept it, you know. Yeah, I feel like I'd kill my partner if we made gin together. So, so good on them. But anyway, back to this pairing.
There's definitely a lot of husband and wife teams in sort of the newer world gins, that's for sure.
My gosh, that must test your relationship. But I love that and I admire that so much. Maybe that's how you know they're a keeper, right?
Maybe hold on to them by keep them full of gin and tonics.
Yeah, well, that's
Maybe that's what it is. I know. But the aromatic tonic is great with Weaver because the Weaver's punchy. It's very full of like locally sourced Australian botanicals, lots of cinnamon myrtle,
Yeah.
anise myrtle, lemon myrtle, like all the myrtles. So it's quite powerful. So I think the aromatic tonic being so powerful in flavor, it really draws out these amazing spice influence. And
Yeah, that beautiful woody bark sort of spiciness is coming through, like a little bit of the anise myrtle still standing up. I think what's good about this is when you take such a bold gin and you take a bold tonic, you might think it would be too much, but because neither one of them overpower one another, it kind of just makes a really big, juicy, spicy, delicious gin and tonic.
okay.
Lisa said this one is going with my salmon rillets. And Greg has said, never tasted 4 tonics like this before. And it's the 3/4 of your drink is really true. I'm not sure I'd realize it's the same gin if I hadn't poured it myself.
There you go.
Yeah, fantastic.
I don't know.
amazing.
Is it really 3/4 of your drink? It's not always 3/4.
No.
Right now, it's not 3/4. I have to tell you. Anyway.
And Georgie said, almost the same to add tonic. The gin is so good. But it's Fevertree, so you've got to.
Well, you know, it's not like we're adding, you know,
Oh, that's really interesting gin. isn't it?
supermarket home brand. This is, you know, definitely.
That is really interesting gin. Now, are you guys in the production booth wanting to try the Loch?
I would love a Loch of the Loch. Loch?
Right, Loch?
I tried to make a pun, but it didn't quite land.
Okay.
Such
then-
wonderful
You have a shock of the Loch.
Oh, shock the Loch.
Whoa.
For everybody at home, I'd like to point out we have 20 garnishes, 2 gins, 4 tonics, 5 staff members. There's a lot going on in this
There's a
room.
lot.
Can I have a
More the
little
merrier,
Loch?
right?
A little Loch?
Well, there's nothing else going on here, right? You've got to make your own fun. So, can you rescue me?
Agreed. Agreed.
That's real. I've never had that gin before. That's really interesting.
Marshall, thank you.
So it has got a lot of Australian botanicals, hasn't it? It's got that sort of slight. We often talk about a sort of really sort of a. I use eucalypt as a short-term word for it. It doesn't smell like
Myrtle,
eucalypt, but it's
yeah.
it's that really
An Australian.
Australian bush smell.
Exactly. That's what I get from this too.
Yeah, and it, I mean, apart from that, you know it's made in Gippsland, but apart from that, it doesn't smell like something you could make down the road. You know, it smells like something that has to be made in the country. And what are you putting with it?
I'm going to be very outlandish. I'm going to add some fresh Corella pear.
Ooh, okay.
I think a little bit of brightness with all this spiciness might.
Says a man wearing completely grey.
I'm wearing a leopard print coat, so I don't know what you want more from me.
Okay. All right. So is this where the aromatic is going to shine? If this is what Trish is doing, this is what I'm going to do too.
Oh, whoa. That is so good with pear.
Is it?
Yeah.
And why is
That's
it
a
good
good one.
with pear?
That sounds like almost like a very wintry combination, Luke. I think that would be so good in the, when you want a gin and tonic in winter, pear, the aromatic spices.
Yep.
It's bold. It's big. It's delightful though.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, it's gutsy, but the juiciness of the pear brings out the lemon, myrtle, and the anise sort of pieces, sort of those spicy but bright sort of flavors.
Yes, Georgia has said the ratio is more like 1 to 1. I think we can agree there.
Yeah, 1 to 1 is fine.
And she's gone with the aromatic. She loves it so much.
Yep.
And Colette has said rosemary with the Loch and Indian is better than orange. Oh yeah, rosemary is better than the orange. She said.
Oh, okay. I'm going to try rosemary in mine. Thank you very much for the suggestion.
Thank you, Colette.
Thank you, Colette.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Oh, wow. That's a thing.
So have we all gone aromatic?
Yeah.
Wow, it really, because rosemary's got
Wow.
that sort of punchy oil. It really gets on top of that green.
Should I try something else? Because everyone's gone.
Yeah.
aromatic.
Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely. Now, the Weaver gin, because it is so punchy, could work with a couple of the other tonics.
What would you recommend?
Well, I love it with Indian because it's punchy, still juniper forward. So what I love about this gin is that even though they have bolstered up their sort of more native botanicals, which are quite loud,
Yeah.
they have also put a lot of juniper in there. So it still, to me, tastes like gin, and that's something that's quite important. And I also love it with Mediterranean because, hello.
Everybody wants to say hello to Trish. Everyone's popping in. You can try Mediterranean if you like.
And Mediterranean because it kind of softens a little bit. So they all do very different things. So Indian, if you want to bolster it, Mediterranean to soften it. It also does work with elderflower. I think it's a really interesting flavour.
All of them. So you just have to try 4. Just drink 4.
Well, I mean, that's the fun in this, right? In
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that's right for you is experimenting.
Yeah.
I feel like the Mediterranean makes it slightly sweeter. I think possibly.
The Mediterranean can be a bit softer. That might be what's bringing out
Possibly.
some of that.
I think the rosemary is a bit of overkill. I think I've now got too much green.
Too much going on.
I'm not sure.
I think I'm going to try.
I'm going to do something very outlandish.
You keep saying this, Luke, and I just is this different for you?
Not really.
What is the definition of well, what am I doing? You can pause. What's the definition of outlandish for Luke? Outrageous for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Did you want to decide something else to go in yours?
Yeah, that's the problem. I need to decide. Trish, what would you recommend? I put Mediterranean with the Loch. What garnish do you think?
So what I would go with that, I don't know if you've got it on that big plate of garnishes, but hopefully you've got ruby red grapefruit.
It's the only thing we don't have.
Don't.
We've got orange, lemon, lime, mint, orange, strawberry. We've got
Pink
dried.
peppercorn.
What about the dried orange slices?
They're lemon. They're lemon.
Oh, they like the
Oh.
lemon slices. The Corella.
Oh, a couple of different things could work. Now, I think I heard before that you are a bit of a strawberry fan, so potentially a little bit of strawberry could work because there's a strawberry gum in this gin as well. And we know that strawberry gum really tastes like strawberry conserve, which is wonderful. And so that could really, really appeal to you, I think.
I'm currently having the Loch Weaver with some elderflower, and it's definitely bringing out all of the strawberry gum.
Yeah, they're good. Okay, yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Perfume. Let's get that away.
Luke said it smelled like perfume.
It smells like perfume
Is that a good thing?
in a good thing, in a good way.
Oh, it does. Smell like-
Well, that's good. At least it doesn't smell like or taste like soap.
No,
Because
no,
we had this conversation earlier that you've had gins that people have bought and put with the wrong thing and gone, oh, that tastes like soap. We don't want to do that to gin.
No.
Fevertree was invented as a sort of backup dancer for spirits. And we certainly don't want to overshine or overpower. We're there to support the gin.
Oh,
And
that's
so-
really good.
Well, I'm doing that with some strawberry and some mint.
Ooh. Josh has said
Yum.
with a twist of orange rind is working well. And Tam says the Weaver with aromatic is to die for. It's a new favourite.
Oh.
Lisa said I went with Indian and rosemary. Fantastic.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Oh, whoa.
And Jackie said, I'm basically finding the best combinations are the ones with gin in them. Yes.
Yeah. I find my prerequisite for gin is a bit
It's
of
a
cucumber.
cucumber, you got a bit of lime. Where's lime?
There's lime here.
Lime.
I'm really enjoying that with a bit of mint and strawberry.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes it very pretty, doesn't it? Something you can enjoy in the sun,
Yeah.
early afternoon, if you have
Okay.
by morning.
All right. I've got Loch and elderflower and lime, and it's delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. Because the limes is just
Brightens it up.
lifting it all. It's nice.
Mm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, do we have a favourite for those ones
Well,
at all?
I've got the Loch with the pink one, which is what's the
Aromatic.
Ross has got Loch with aromatic and strawberry and lime.
strawberry and lime.
Is that good?
The strawberry on its own wasn't quite right with the thing, so that the lime has just balanced it.
So the Loch's actually really versatile, despite being quite punchy
Mm.
in terms of garnishing and tonics.
And I think the thing sometimes, because we've got a lot of very strong flavoured gins,
Just a couple, you
and
know.
just a couple, 350, and and I think sometimes people think that the stronger flavour means that they'll be less flexible,
Yeah.
less adaptable. But actually, I think you've just got to have better stuff to go with it, don't you? Really, that's the key.
Absolutely. And Vivienne, that's such a great point. And I think, having been to quite a lot of those distilleries personally, it's a hard life. But I will say this,
Life on the line.
Ryan, talking to, when you do go to these distilleries, and in Loch Weaver, Loch Distillery is definitely incorporated in this. They go to so much effort to get the best quality ingredients for their gin. Like, no one is skimping on the botanicals in their gin. Everyone is sourcing the finest quality, locally, ethical that you can find. And Fevertree does the same. So we go to literally the ends of the earth to get the best quality ingredients. So we're not going to let those spirits down. They are the best. There is no expense spared. They are really made, for those sort of spirit enthusiasts because they're made well. And that's important to us because you can taste the difference, can't you?
For sure. I mean, I was reading some stuff about the Loch Weaver gin, and they were saying they actually wanted to make it earlier than when they first released it, but it took them such a long time to not only get the best quality, but also sustainably sourced, because both of those things were really important. Okay. So a lot of the time you can get really good stuff, but not necessarily in the most sustainable way. So it's kind of good that, small distilleries aren't, skimping or cutting corners. They're really going to the ends of the earth to get really good, ethical, high quality botanicals. Yeah. Which I think is why it works so well, and it's such a beautiful pairing with all these gorgeous tonics.
Absolutely.
From Fevertree.
Now that we did, because we decided we were doing tonics, the one thing that we didn't actually put in the mix was this little sensation.
Oh yeah, yum.
This is the Fevertree spiced orange ginger ale, which Trish introduced us to, and it is absolutely the bomb with the Shiraz gins. We really loved it, with particularly the Fossey's Shiraz gin. That is a combination absolutely made in heaven. It was gorgeous. And in fact, at the Fossey's tasting you guys did last night, that's online on Fossey's if you haven't seen it. They were raving about it. They were raving about it. And it's absolutely beautiful. It goes really well with a whole lot of things. And
I drink it by the litre. Yeah, I can't stop myself.
Luke just calls out. He's like, you know what time it is.
In the middle of, it all goes. Yeah, in the middle of the day when I'm, you need a bit of a pick me up. I'll be cracking open the ginger ales.
Absolutely, it is the bomb. That is absolutely one of my favourite products of all time.
So
I love it. I love that you guys love it, and absolutely. And we're not just limited to tonic. Fevertree put a lot of love into our gingers too, and I was so excited when I came to you guys with this actually, because I know that you guys really love your quality. You're really in touch with brands and the produce that they use, and it's really admirable what you guys do there at the Wig Cellar. So when I showed you that, and you guys just really loved it, and you're so right, and they do go so well with those Shiraz gins, with barrel aged gin as well.
Yes, absolutely, barrel aged gins,
probably the best way.
Absolutely, our barrel aged gin
Oh my God, I know. I can still see that you've got a bottle there and I want that. Can you put one aside for me?
I'll write your name on it,
Sure.
Trish.
I love that stuff. Trish.
Get it?
Yeah.
Got it now with a Sharpie. But
It's my favorite barrel aged gin of all time.
There you go, Trish. It's got your.
I've got one.
yeah.
Oh,
But for those of you, because the guys tried, Ross and Luke and Eva tasted the new barrel aged gins from Fossey's last night, and absolutely that's where Steve was talking about it. Is that the spiced ginger really lifts, because it's those gins are really not great with quite a few tonics, to be honest with you. I don't think, but I think the orange really gives it that.
It lifts it.
It lifts.
I always find the spice orange, we never put it out or never recommend people to, get it, because it's always one of the things we're like, oh, this would be perfect with the spiced orange, and we always run to the fridge to get it, like I did just then.
It's come out. It's been mentioned in almost every tasting that we've done in the last
It has
3
because
weeks.
I'm obsessed with it.
So I
love
think
it.
we need to start telling people to get it.
Yeah.
Well, in fact,
I
we're going to one of the corporate tastings that we've got a whole list. For those of you who know, we've got tastings that we do for people, and we've got a whole list of. Our new September list is out. So exciting putting those tasting menus together. And that's got a Shiraz flight, and the Shiraz flight we're sending out with
Shiraz gins, by the way,
Shiraz gins.
not Shiraz wines.
No, I'm not putting tonic with the Shiraz wine. No, with the Shiraz gin, is going out with a bottle of Mediterranean and a bottle of the Indian and a bottle of the
Ginger ale.
because if you've got those gorgeous Shiraz gins and you've got whose dog is barking?
That'd be Trish's
Is that
dog.
your dog?
Georgie has just asked, Trish, what about the cinnamon and clementine tonic with the Shiraz gin?
well, absolutely. And so what the similarities are between the spiced orange ginger ale and the clementine tonic, which I love and I know Georgie loves, is we use clementines. They come from South Africa. And if you're not familiar with the clementine, it's spiced organically in nature between an orange and a mandarin.
We've
So it's
actually
more orange and more mandarin.
We've actually had clementines here. Liz delivered.
It was
Oh,
a joke because
you've got some. Oh, stop it.
We've had them.
Luke once said this smells like clementine. We're all like, yeah, but what does clementine smell like?
As anyone who's been to multiple tastings would know, I like to pull out the most extravagant and ridiculous comparisons in flavour and
But
smell.
then the fabulous Liz from Balaclava
brought clementines for us.
so we're on. So we know what
Amazing.
Yeah. Keep
And
going.
Clementines. They're gorgeous. And we also use Sri Lankan cinnamon as well. So it's Ceylon cinnamon. So it's the highest quality that you can get. It's the most sought after in the world. And, we use that in the spice orange ginger ale. And in the ginger ale itself, we uses 3 different gingers from the Ivory Coast, which is lemongrassy and zesty. We use one from Cochin in India, which is deep and rich. And then we have one from Nigeria, which is earthy and has depth to it. And so, anyone can tell you that, an orange isn't an orange, a spice isn't a spice. Like the provenance is so important. And so that's the basis of the ginger and spiced orange. And our tonic, the clementine tonic, is the same, but with Indian as the base, dialed down a little bit with certain botanicals.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, well, I think that there's lots of yummy things to be had, but that's a really good point.
And that's the other thing is, we all know things like ginger and cinnamon and oranges and such and such. But when you really go into particularly, and this is something that a lot of Australian distillers do now, they don't just want an orange. They want a specific type of orange.
Yeah.
And that might sound puncy to, the innocent bystander. But at the end of the day, if by the time you're putting so much of it in a gin or so much of it in a tonic, you really want that one specific flavour. And
absolutely.
I found that with particularly garnishing and cocktails and stuff, like there are multiple different types of ginger out there. There are multiple different types of cardamom out there. There are multiple different types of cinnamons, lemons, all sorts of different things.
Yeah. So what are you going with now, Luke?
I'm being very,
Luke.
Or are you adding the ginger ale?
Yeah, the ginger ale and the Loch, and I don't know if it's going to work.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had some on hand. I want to try this. You're the guinea pig, I suppose.
Yeah, for
Luke?
sure.
We didn't hold down. like thinking any of them will turn into soap. Which is, I guess.
Of course that doesn't happen.
Oh,
It's obviously okay.
it's good. It's really good.
Oh, you're rapping now.
Oh,
And what garnish are you putting in?
Hang on, give me a sec.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm smacking up.
Recipe.
I've got.
For those of you who've ever seen him, we do curfew cocktails on a Friday, and it's quite violent. We're in a little space out the back,
Oh, and I'm
it's sort of like
smacking things, breaking things, shaking things.
throwing things across
I
the
just
room,
added some black cardamom to this. I don't know that it's going to work.
which is one of these little babies.
They're a lot bigger than green cardamom. They're about the size of
Okay.
Whoa, Vivienne's gonna
Here's a close-up.
demonstration for those
Alright.
at home.
This is a green one. This is a black one. See?
take the green pill or take the black pill.
Yeah. And the black cardamom has a woody sort of element. It's almost truffly.
Oh, truffle. You had me at truffle.
What I really like about it is that it picks up the barks and things that go in some gins, like cassia bark, cinnamon, things like that. So it can be quite interesting for those sort of woody flavors.
Yep.
Lisa says, what would match my cucumber sandwich best?
Oh,
Elderflower tonic.
elderflower tonic.
Elderflower tonic.
Elderflower tonic, NB gin, bomb.
This
Yeah.
one
Cucumber sandwich all day, yum.
and a borage flour. If she hasn't got any, I've got some at home. She knows where I live. What are you doing now? Causing yourself an injury.
What are you doing there, Luke? Talk us through it.
I'm cracking open the black cardamom, which makes it usually very pungent.
Right.
Mm.
So it can often take over, but I think the weaver might be able to stand up to it. I'll give that a whiff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Fantastic.
Josh is-
Not afraid to flavour this one.
Mm.
Oh,
What does Josh say?
Josh had said we've got some Brogan's Way royal blood here, and with the aromatic, it's lovely and savoury, which we had some
Yes.
with it. So I
That is
recommend
a great comment.
trying bits and pieces with their Fevertree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, there you've heard it from Josh. Just
Well,
try anything.
Yeah, and Liz said that she has some borage.
Oh, of course
So
she
she's
does.
set.
Of course she does.
Oh
think-
my gosh, that is amazing.
There you go.
Black cardamom.
So this is what you need to do at home. All you need to do to have some cocktail fun is just one good gin, and then you can try all of these different party tricks. And yeah, it's good. So anybody? So what do the Wig Cellar crew find as their favourite? Rachel, what was your favourite?
I like the NB with the aromatic.
Okay, so Rachel is NB and aromatic. Ross, what was your favourite?
Loch with the aromatic.
Loch with the aromatic. Oh, the aromatic's getting two. How are you going?
I went NB with the elderflower.
Oh,
I
NB
thought that was
with the
yum.
elderflower. Okay,
I'm gonna go the Loch with the elderflower,
okay,
and as a close second, the ginger ale.
Ooh.
yeah, okay.
Diane,
What's your favourite?
I actually think I liked the Loch with the aromatic. I think.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So the aromatic and elderflower. Just
Well, I think
yeah,
also,
they're the winners of the night.
yeah, we've drunk a lot of these, so I think maybe I was doing more tasting of these.
Yeah.
But I hadn't had the Loch gin before, and it's really nice. I also do like, I think the Loch gin with the spiced ginger ale.
It's really
Nice.
good.
Nice.
I can't wait to try that.
Diane has said every combination has put me in a state of off my tree instead of fever.
Off your fever tree.
She's got the fever.
But yeah, everyone has said either like the elderflower or aromatic. Everyone's got very different.
I have to
opinions.
say,
But
almost
yeah,
anything, if you put a piece of orange and the spiced orange,
Ginger ale.
ginger ale, and any decent spirit, it's a party in a glass. I think it's the best.
party in the glass.
What about you, Trish? What's your favourite mix?
My gosh, I love this because even I got to try some new recommendations, and you guys really, I cannot wait to try the Loch with the spice orange ginger ale. Like, get out of town, that sounds delightful. But keeping it gin and tonic related, the Loch Weaver and aromatic for me. You know, I drink a lot of gin and a lot of tonic, and it's just different. It's well balanced. It's just delightful. Delight in a glass. My gosh, you
Yeah.
can tell by looking at the color how good it's going to taste. So
Really. And I think it's a real
yeah.
gorgeous spring-looking drink, and I think it would make a nice long drink.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
I mean, we're tasting little 50-50s, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it would make a nice long drink with all sorts of bits and pieces in it. I
And
think.
what's your favourite garnish for the Loch and Aromatic?
Look, I'm not as fancy as you with garnishes today. I've gone garnish free.
No,
I mean, I can never keep up with you guys, of course. So what I would probably do, because it's a cold night in Melbourne, is maybe just pop a cinnamon stick in there. Or if I had some cardamom in my cupboard, a little bit of cardamom, some orange could be really winter warming.
Yeah.
Gin and tonic could be a really nice nightcap, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So what we've learned is just have a play and work out what you like.
Yeah.
So sometimes you contrast, sometimes you do the same sort of things and do what you like.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think that's really exciting. I've had fun. So I'm expecting everybody to send lots of emails and notes in saying what they like best. That would be cool. Now, what have we got on next week, boys and girls? Next week. Oh, I'm so excited about next week.
Answer our own question.
Well, that's what you do. Next week we've got aperitivo, which of course we haven't got handy to show you. So we're going to
That was slightly more complicated.
We do have, yeah.
a bottle of Riccadonna Prosecco, a bottle of Chinar
Amaro.
a bottle of the
Cinzano
Rosso, and something else. Aperol.
And
No, Campari.
Campari?
Campari.
Campari. Okay.
We are organised.
We are organised. Seriously, we've been sending.
Anyone wonders why we are so confused and baffled at the moment, we are doing an enormous amount of tasting,
which is so much fun. So good. So this is what we're doing next week
and it comes with a bottle of Prosecco
with
as
a bottle
well.
of Prosecco. So that's exciting. That's aperitivo.
And we'll be doing some cocktail mixing, some spirits tasting on its own, a little bit of the Prosecco's tasting to start it off. So if you like wine, you like spirits, you like cocktails, we've got all of it happening next week.
And then there's more. And our good friends over the road at Michelangelo Osteria have put together an antipasto pack. And if you hop online with all sorts of gorgeous Italian goodies, if you hop online, you can order the aperitivo and the antipasto and have an entire trip to Italy for spring just for a bit of fun on a Thursday night. So that should be fab.
And then what's after that? Have we
Malbec.
decided? Malbec. We've got Malbec after
behind
that.
you.
Oh,
I was organised with those ones.
then we've got Malbec, which is going to be really exciting. So
Yum,
at the end of the warm,
We've
at the
got
end of the
an
cool weather,
Australian, a French and an Argentinian.
so that'll be a bit of fun because we love Malbec, and there's always some cold nights in September, October that warrant a bit of red wine. So thank you so much for joining us, Trish. It's been a year in the making, all of this idea, and this fabulous to be able to try all this gorgeous product and have fun.
And I dare say in 6 to 12 months time, when we are a little bit more available, let's say, we might get 2 more gins and do it all again.
In person. Let's give that a
In
whirl.
person.
Woo!
I would love that. Thank you so much, Big Seller. You know you're my favorite. I spend so much time in your store on the phone to you, so it's really great to be involved with this.
Thank you so much for the product. It's been fantastic. We love it.
Beautiful.
So thanks very much for joining in at home. Thanks very much for buying all of the tastings and for doing tastings with all of your friends. We love it. It's fantastic. It's keeping us going and we're having a great time.
And don't stop taking photos. We're sending out some free tasting packs for people who are taking
That's
lovely
right.
photos of their tastings. And apart from that, we'll see you all
Enjoy.
next week.
Stay safe.
Stay
Bye.
safe.
Bye.
Cheers, bye.